celebrating my incredible mastermind client Lupita today for massively upgrading her brand and offers the last 90 days. I've been watching this woman step into a whole new level of identity, up-leveling her standards, up-leveling the way she communicates, up-leveling the way she shows up in the online space with so much conviction and confidence in what this woman does best. Lupita is a leader in the space, helping business owners grow their business through in-person workshops and speaking gigs. This woman has transformed hundreds of business owners' reality by knowing how to prioritize what's really important in their business, how to grow it in a way that's most aligned with their strength through in-person workshops and speaking gigs without burning out in the process, without ads, without being on social media 24/7. This woman is an icon in this industry, and I'm just so incredibly grateful to walk by her side and support her on this journey. And I'm so excited to bring her on and have her share her journey with you today. So let's bring on
been incredible friends over the last couple of years. We've been working together alongside for quite some time, and I'm just so grateful to have this incredible soul in my life. Hi, Lupita.
Hello. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, you're amazing. I'm so happy to have you. This is wonderful. All right, my love. Tell us a little bit, introduce yourself to our audience again for everyone who doesn't know you yet. Tell us, what are you all about?
So I am a holistic business strategist, and usually when I say that, everyone glazes over, which is okay because I've started something new in the space of business coaching. So there's a lot more around that, but the way I like to say it is, more than likely, my clients come to me because they've reached a point of their business where they feel like they have everything together, they have the greatest team, or if they're solopreneur, like they know exactly what they want in their business. But what's happening is they're either in burnout, have been there many times, see their calendar is just overfilled with too many commitments, and they can't even sleep well thinking about the next day, thinking about what they're going to have to tackle, and maybe even to the point of possibly thinking, why did I even start this business? Maybe I want to be an employee again. Get me out of here. And so that's where I come in to really work with my client one-on-one and do an analysis, like the strategy side of it, really reflect on where they are right now, what has been working for their business, and where has the business really taken a curve to an area that they're like, why, how did I get here? And I incorporate the holistic side of things that has to do with mindset work, sound baths, if you've ever been in a sound bath, to really bring down your stress level, because we're all stressed all the time, and some other tools as well. But honestly, that is how I work with my clients most of the time, is they're completely competent, they're so independent, they're so driven, and then there's this one thorn in their side that they can't figure out.
It's amazing. So I'm absolutely blown away, watching you, securing lots of speaking gigs over the last couple of months. You held workshops, you spoke on panels, you are all over the place, especially locally, really showing up in person to grow your brand as well as on social media. I'm so curious, what is your motivation behind all of this? What is the why? What is the deeper story behind this massive growth that you're experiencing?
Honestly, it all comes down to me being a daughter of an immigrant family coming to this country. And I get a little bit emotional about it because my parents were entrepreneurs. So I saw them struggle, I saw their dreams, and I thought I never want to be an entrepreneur. When I grew up, my parents really pushed me to go for a regular job. I worked in the advertising agency field as a producer, project manager, managing really big campaigns in Miami, moved to New York, working at a charter school in the fundraising director field. So think grant writing, big events again, and staying in that realm of corporate world, right? And really feeling burnt out. And I thought, okay, if this is what I have, and my parents had something similar, like what gives? And so I went through a whole transformation, internal self-discovery, seminars, having incredible mentors. But I would say like what I landed on after going through that corporate side of my life was I really want to change people's lives, not because of me, but specifically because of what I saw my parents and the more small business owners I spoke to and these big visions they had, and they didn't even know where to begin. And I brought my mindset of the different areas that I worked in previously, and I would ask questions to them and obviously became certified and everything. But I feel like the deeper why behind why small business owners, why entrepreneurs, and specifically right now in my journey as to why here locally really was a catalyst because of the COVID pandemic. Everybody was shuttered in. After living in really big cities and coming back to my hometown where my family is, I was like, I know no one. I'm an adult with a business. I know no one here. How can I get plugged in? And the easiest thing for me to do was looking for network groups that were for small business owners, entrepreneurs. There really wasn't anything that I felt substantial. So I was like, let me just go to one place and plug in. And when I plugged in and just listened and heard these incredible entrepreneurs' dreams, their passion, the reason why they opened, this beautiful olive oil store in downtown, or why they decided to open, a Cuban American restaurant. Like I got to really connect with them. And because I worked in advertising previously, and because I worked in grant writing and having events, my brain was going haywire. And I thought, you know what, this is my hometown. Like this is where I grew up and I came back for a reason. And I don't take it for granted of living and experiencing the big city life. So how can I bring that here and really honor my own community and love on them and share my perspective and really like help to elevate them where they're not in the grind every single day, but be able to ask those questions that maybe they don't get to ask themselves. And so that's where I came in, really going deep with my homegrown businesses here. And I felt that there was such a need because the big cities, you can find tons of these networking groups and tons of ways and resources. And I thought it's not really here. So maybe I can try to create it or try to create something together with whoever's here.
So beautiful. I also feel like there's such a huge need for this right now because, yes, through COVID, the online space blew up and everyone started to be on social media. But in all honesty, it's not for everyone. It didn't serve everyone, right? Some people don't want to be on Instagram all the time or Facebook or LinkedIn. And some people love the idea of being locally connected with people in person together again. Like some people thrive in this environment, and I feel like you opened the door and be like, yes, you can have an online presence and you can be connected in person. No matter how big your community, you can make an impact locally and globally. And I feel like you created this incredible niche and opened people's mind of like, oh my gosh, I kind of forgot that this is even a possibility, right? It's like everyone is so like locked at home still, like, and it's beautiful and we're grateful we get to do that. But at the same time, we love being together with people, most of us. And you've created this amazing community locally and virtually over the last couple of years, and it's incredible what you've created, and opening the door to people to really thrive in that environment. So really, I'm obsessed with what you're doing. I think it's so valuable to business owners, no matter at what stage in their business, because networking and growing our community will always be part of our business. Like we always looking to expand our message, to reach more people, to have more impact, and really having a business that feels good. I always say light like a feather, honestly, is the goal. So it's not just one path. It's not just like you have to post on social media every day, or you have to run ads, or you have to have this stunning website and do SEO. I mean, it all gets to work. But if your thing is in person, if you love speaking, if you want to you know, impact your local community, there is a way, and you teach people exactly how to do that. And I think it's so super valuable. I'm curious, so what made you decide, we're like, okay, I'm ready to elevate my brand, I'm ready to elevate my offer, I'm ready to like join She Leads, I'm ready to invest in a program, in some kind of a mentorship. What was like that decision for you where you were like, yep, I'm ready for this?
Honestly, it was you, Charlotte. And it has to do with, I previously, at least I can think about maybe 4 years ago, I had invested in a program that was focused on branding, right? Which is really funny to me because I worked in advertising for so long. You'd think I know this stuff, right? But the thing is, when you're working on your own brand, it's so different. And so what I invested in at that time was, okay, I invested in a program that helped me figure out like who I am, who's my brand, how does that all work together? And then also kind of like getting out of the fear of showing up for myself a bit unapologetically. So I went through that whole space. But I felt like there's something missing, like that's really beautiful, but like there's something else and I'm missing it. I'm missing it. And because during this time, everything was opening up, and then I started going to networking events, and I thought to myself, okay, now I'm practicing my pitch, right? I'm practicing listening. I'm asking the right questions. But I kept seeing in these rooms that I was going in how to network the wrong way. And I was seeing how salesy people were and just very standoffish. And I thought, oh my gosh, I never want to be like that. And so because I know how it feels. It feels like slime, like icky. And I think that's also why, Charlotte, like when I walked into rooms and I wasn't doing that, it was like a breath of fresh air for people. So that's one thing. But honestly, in being in these rooms, I thought, okay, I really need to get it together where I can explain what I do, because holistic business strategist is a mouthful and that's a lot. I would test it. I would test it and people would glaze over. And I'm like, I cannot start with that. Okay. So I already knew, right? I was testing my message and I thought, I'm testing it. I'm pretty smart. But I really need somebody to like kind of give me that feedback. As an entrepreneur, you're working on your own in this own little cubicle of sorts. And I thought, okay, I saw you post, I think maybe almost like a year and a half ago or so, about this like 2-week mini minds container about sales that convert, I believe it was called, content that converts. And I thought, I need to get in there. Like, I've been following you for a while. And I've seen how your transition and your evolution as a person, as a coach. And I thought, all right, if I'm going to get to know this woman and really see if she can help me, I need to get into like an intimate space. So I got in there, great container. Oh my gosh, I learned so much. And it was during a time where family wise, I was like in the middle of that program. I needed to fly to California to be present for one of my aunts who had passed away. So imagine, like, I'm so in this program, there's this family situation that's happening that is still really affecting my emotional state, right? And still to really honor, I am human, I'm feeling this, but dang, I want my business to thrive. And to be in that container and to have so much love and support from you and everyone that was in there of what I was going through, and me still showing up for myself, still being able to get feedback on that, it was beyond. It really was beyond. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I love that container. When is Charlotte going to have something else for me? And so I was waiting and waiting, partly because honestly at that time, I really think I wasn't ready, to go in deeper. I really wanted to test out what I had learned. I'm a tester. So if you're out there, you're an experimenter, it's okay. I see you. I love you. Because that was me. That was me. But as soon as this came through, Charlotte, and I saw it and I thought, okay, I don't even know how much it costs. I don't know what the time commitment is, but I am ready, because at this point I had already been really giving and honoring my community here for over 3 years. Like, I was so intentional. Every room I went into, people were getting to know me. Rooms that I wasn't even in, they were talking about me because people were telling me, hey, I heard about you. I'm like, what? Oh my God. And so I thought, okay, now is the time. Like, I need to make the time for myself. I need to make the investment financially, and I need to at least talk to you about it. Like, what is this program? What is it about? And so that's how my transition of how I got into this space, because I think you even had to reach out to me at one point because I was curious about it and you reached out to me, and I'm so grateful that you did. I think that a lot of us are so fearful of making that first connection, maybe to that possible client, that has been watching us, and we see they like our posts and we're like, you know what, this offer would be really great for Susie. And we get stuck, we get frozen. Oh my gosh, but if I message Susie, she's going to think I'm a predator, right? And so that's something that I've learned through this program and many other things. But, we are not predators, because if it comes from the heart of knowing that person who's been following you and you know what they want, and us as having that program and that coaching program specifically can help them, we're actually serving them. So that's been a really huge shift. And that's how I came into this space.
Amazing. So good. I love it. I love that you're talking about all the different aspects of what was going on in your mind, right? What were your thoughts? What are the fears? Because that is real. That is real. I think all of us are experiencing that, because every time we're investing in something, we're saying yes to change. We're saying yes to change. We're saying yes to letting go of something that's already great, that's already working. And we're saying yes to that next level evolution. And that's scary, because we have to give something up to get something else in our life and our business, and it requires growth. It requires us to stretch. It requires us to get super uncomfortable, to have uncomfortable conversation, to do things that we haven't done before, to change the way we communicate, to change the way we show up, and really claiming that who we are is enough, and that we can lead other people, and that we can make a massive difference in someone's life. And that's scary. So I love how you were talking about all these different aspects of like what happens when we're saying yes to a program, to a coaching container, because it is saying, yes, I'm ready for change. And change is always scary. We're creatures of habit. Like we want, and this is actually funny, because we want things to kind of be the same as they are, but often we're like, we want more impact and more clients, we want to have more money, whatever it is, but often we don't want to change. We just want the external to change. But that's an illusion. That's not how things work. Like we change inside first, and then the outside is changing, and that's scary. So we want to be in a container with someone that we trust, someone who's safe with us, somewhere where we can really open up and be vulnerable. And that's when the shifts are happening. And you were like one of those dream clients who showed up in this mastermind like no other. Like Lupita is the one who supports everyone in this mastermind chat. There are 5 women in there. It's an incredible group. And she's so supportive. And she's also like the ladies inside there, they're coaching each other. They're showing up for each other. It's been the most amazing momentum to witness, and the most incredible sisterhood in there as well. Like, I'm obsessed with this container. I love you ladies in there so much. It's like, wow, what a container for growth, for expansion, for change. Like, incredible. What were some of the things you feel like you've learned the most inside of this container?
Honestly, I think that it's really unlearning a lot of the bad sales advice. Because as you mentioned, when I answered your question earlier, like because of what I do with my own clients, I'm so cognizant and so aware of my feelings, of my thoughts as I'm making decisions, that the sales strategies that I had been learning previously, they might have worked for a little bit, right? But they were in a space where it wasn't really honoring. And that ick feeling of when you're just doing something like a script or a template, that everyone else can do, which is wonderful. And I've been that person to try it, but I really feel like in this container, really unlearning that, really rediscovering who I am in this sales component of it, and even discovering some of the lies that I have and beliefs about sales. Because, when it comes to being a coach, at least for me, when I began, I wanted to help everybody. That was what I thought. And then the more I sat with myself and I really thought about who I would love to wake up knowing I have them as my 10 a.m. appointment and conversation or coffee date. Like when I thought about that, and knowing that if I don't actually sell, I will never speak to that person. They will never find me. And I think it was because of also the strategies I had learned previously. It was kind of like, well, if they say no, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And that never felt good to me because I kind of felt like when you go to a shoe store, right? You're in the mall, you're walking around, whatever, and you're in the shoe store. They're like, oh, do you want to buy these sneakers? And I'm thinking, I have 3 sneakers already. I don't need another sneaker. But they keep pushing you, right? And so I felt like that strategy for me wasn't feeling good. And it actually helped that I was already in your previous container. So I already knew a little bit about how you worked and how you taught. So when I came into this, I was like I'm all in. Like I invested time, money, and I want to be here to be that dream client to my coach, because I've had clients myself. So I know what it's like to be that dream client, and I thought, how can I also give and serve in this container? Because it's actually serving me too. I mean, that's just another level of being able to be in this type of space, versus maybe being in other containers. And I think that, when it comes to selling, that was huge. When it comes to really understanding the type of content that I wanted to create and to post and not feel like I needed to, it wasn't coming from a place of desperation. It wasn't coming from, okay, I need to post seven times in a week. I need to do 10 reels in a week. That to me felt very overwhelming for somebody who was already running a pretty successful business, who already had enough events in person, like networking, to be known and seen, who was already running workshops and, talking for future partnerships, and then thinking about adding social media as like another to-do list or a task list, just felt as if it was always being pushed to the bottom, And I think knowing that the content I'm creating is just as valuable as me doing my QuickBooks reconciliation. The content that I'm creating is just important as when I prep for a workshop and I show up and I lead that presentation, because without that content, I honestly wouldn't be able to go in front of people, right? Like I can go and start presenting, but are people going to be there? I don't know, right? Um, or even, when I was doing loads and loads and loads, almost 250 workshops total when I thought about it. Like I sat down online and in person together, 250 workshops. And there were so many moments that I felt like I was an imposter. And again, here in this program, I was able to be like, wait a minute, I haven't taken the time to sit and evaluate from a space of love and honor of myself. Dang, I've done a lot, but not in a place of like, whoa, I did a lot. That was horrible. Yes, there were a lot of things that I learned about myself during that process, but to say, wow, I've gotten the online workshop strategy done for me as a masterclass scenario, and then to transition it to in person and still be as impactful and be in a space like this with my local community that's like, where did you come from, Lupita? Like, wow, how you teach it, how you talk about it, your heart. And here I am like, yeah, it's little old me just doing this, right? And again, it's because of your program, the sisterhood that we've had, that we're able to even call out in each other like, wow, I just saw you post this. That is amazing. And I saw you shine when you went on this live, and vice versa. And I think, you know what, we really need that sometimes. Because, we go here and we're posting live, or we're putting a story and we're like, oh, that was horrible. Let me re-record it. And you re-record it 10 times. And usually the first time is the best one because it's just you. And I think also through this container, this program, it's really helped me, at least for me, I've always been pretty positive, and, I really run my life through faith and really believing that things happen for a reason and there's a lesson behind it. And one of those things, this year had to do with the fact that I had opened a brick and mortar meditation studio to be able to meet with my clients. And I made a really, really difficult and challenging decision. That was a way for me to get into my community, to show them like I'm staying here, I'm rooted here, and also to bring into my community that they've never had before, to be able to lead a meditation studio with sound baths and see me and connect with me, and to make a decision after 2 years of that space, to pretty much start to transition out of it and move into a space where it becomes more fluid and I'm getting booked outside of my studio, which is a good problem to have, right? But I think that if that decision wouldn't have been as simple if I hadn't been in this program, because I was able to even be more present with what I was feeling, why I was feeling this, be able to share with all of my ladies in that group and hear from you, like how much I've come, like how far I've come, and having a brick and mortar, I never even imagined having that. And then thinking about this part, because I have a brick and mortar, the clients that I do have who also have a brick and mortar, I know exactly what they're going through. I know exactly what they're thinking when they're waking up. They have to pay the bills for a set amount of bills that are coming through, and then they have to go out and network, and they have to go on social media. Like, I get that person now. And in our own community, there's been a lot of small businesses that have had to shut their doors because of the economy, because of a lot of things. And I know what that feels like too. Yes, I'm thankful that I'm able to transition into a different space because I put so much time and love into this component of really figuring out a way, how can I evolve my online coaching to in-person workshops, in-person masterclasses? Yes, I have a brick and mortar meditation studio. I can transition out of that, and I can actually travel anywhere globally now, right? So it's just like being able to process that with you ladies in that space has been such a gift that I think that if I was just doing it on my own, I probably would have reached the same conclusion, maybe later. But, right? But to have that space to speak about that, everything that was coming up, and still, honor it. And where I am now, yes, there was some emotion that came up, but it's not emotion that I'm sad about. It's because I'm so excited that I was able to make that decision at a quicker pace than I would have on my own, and be able now to say, hey, whoever I speak to as a brick and mortar, girl, guy, I got you. I know exactly what you're going through. I have a couple of questions to ask you, because of the questions that I ask myself to be able to make the next step forward. So yeah.
I so much gold in what you were just saying. I think the most important thing really is like when we are in a container like that, it's not that they're gonna do something that we would not do anyways, right? I feel like what a coaching space allows us to do is really rapidly proceeding where we meant to go anyways, right? It's like, I don't think we need a coach. We don't need the mastermind because we're fully capable. We are extraordinary in what we are already doing. But sometimes we just get so caught up in our head and turning and tossing ideas, and we just have so much fear of making decisions because we know where we meant to go. And it's so much easier to catapult to that level when we speak to people who have done it, who walked the path, who pioneered, who've done the difficult things. Because anytime when we grow, when we expand, it's there's challenges involved with that, right? And then being supported, being among other women who walking the path, who've been there, who doing similar things, it just takes the weight off, and we rise so much faster. So I love how you were describing this. I'm like, also crying. I'm like, you're just so vulnerable and so open and so beautiful. Like, so I adore you. I love you. Like, you're amazing. The way you show up for your clients, for your community, for this mastermind, for everything. It's just so inspiring and incredible to witness you for who you are and who you're becoming. And I know you are just at the beginning of something so extraordinary. Like, the concepts we developed, the ideas that you shared with me are so next level. I know you are blowing up. Like, this is just the beginning of something so spectacular. The decisions that you've made over the last couple of weeks were so profound for what is yet to come for you. And I'm yes, I'm here. I'm so here for it. I'm getting goosebumps because I'm just like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of what you're creating, what you have created. And it's like, the sky is the limit for you. And you have this big vision and these beautiful ideas to really change people's businesses and lives on a cellular level, literally on a cellular level. So I'm just like,
Yeah, exactly.
it is incredible. Exactly. It is incredible. And everyone who's watching here right now, Lupita, everyone who's watching, tell us about one big thing that is about to happen in your head. What is happening? And yeah, share about that next evolution of your business.
Well, as of today, I shared and I launched my small business accelerator. And what that contains is what I just shared a little bit about today, is how I started and have been successful in utilizing in-person workshops, master classes, and speaking gigs to really impact your local community, so that you can be the expert there. They don't have to bring anybody out from a bigger city. It can be you. And for you to really leverage the presentation, the workshop that you're creating in front of those who really need it. So by the end of your workshop, you're like, oh my God, this was wonderful. No, you're going to have people standing up and coming and talking to you and saying, how can I have you as my coach? How can I hire you to come into my organization? Because we need help with our wellness in our workplace right now. The culture is nuts, right? So I do workshops like that. So that's the area now that I've been focusing on, which has been so beautiful to have that within the container with you and the gals. That, funny enough, right? Like I've been doing it for so many years and I'm like, why haven't I thought about this previously? And that is what I'm launching, specifically around, hey, for 10 days, you and I and a set group of incredible entrepreneurs who know they have a message, they have expertise, but they don't know really how to package it. They don't really know which of the many topics that they're incredible at should they focus on. And if you want my eyes on your presentation, if you want my eyes on, I'm about to go to a networking event. How do I pitch? How do I talk about myself? What do I do that's not going to be salesy? You know, all the things that worked for me because it came from the heart. I'm going to be able to really share that with those individuals who are like, you know what, I'm done sort of like being in the corner. I want to speak up. I need to share something that is so valuable to me and to others. And Lupita, please help me to get through this within 10 days. You will have this for yourself. You'll be able to go back to it again if you need to. But honestly, because I've had such a huge growth and being able to be in this containers, like with your 2-week program, like that really was the inspiration around it, because I thought my clients are so dang on busy. Okay, they're so busy and they're so amazing. They may not have time for a 12-week coaching program. They may not have time for even the one-on-one because maybe it's too intensive for them. And they want to be able to plug in 10 days, learn, implement, activate, get feedback, and move on, right? And so that's where this really came from. And I really wish that I had access to this before, but it's okay because I created it. So it's here now.
That's how the best things are created. Like we see a gap in the market and we create it. We're like, I want this. Like this is insane. And everyone who's watching now live or who's watching the replay, if you've ever thought, even remotely thinking about doing in-person master classes, in-person speaking gigs, you have to be in this 10-day program. Like 10 days with Lupita, hands down, will change the way you run your business. So if you have thought about ever doing speaking gigs, remote like master classes, in person, knowing how to network again locally, she is the one. She shows you how to go about it, where to find the groups, and how to prepare your presentation so you not only impact your community, but you also build your email list and you attract dream clients through your message. So Lupita, everyone who's watching now, they're like, okay, I want to, like, this is amazing. This woman is incredible. How can people find you? How can people connect with you? And how can they join this amazing small business accelerator program that you're about to open?
Definitely. I'd love to have you in there. If you're curious and want to know more information, definitely DM me. I'm at ignite_the_fire inside. And honestly, that's the best way to get me right now. I am going to be sharing more information in the next 2 days. So if you're like me, like I said at the beginning, you're like, I just want to watch from afar. I got to figure out what this is. I don't feel comfortable messaging Lupita yet. I get you because I've been there. So I will have more information shortly. Tomorrow it will be the full program information that's out. And we will be starting November 16th. So if you're like, when is this happening? Is it happening now? Is it happening during the holidays? I specifically wanted it to launch and be in that space with you before Thanksgiving. And if you're a small business owner, you'll know why. Okay. And I'm going to share with you if you're like, what? Why? Why is it so important? Because listen, when Thanksgiving comes around, we all get a little bit lazy. All right. We're eating a little bit too much turkey, and that's okay. All right. Because remember, I'm a holistic business coach. Like I want you to rest. I want you to take care of yourself. But how amazing would it be before Thanksgiving, you have your whole presentation done. You have my eyes on it, that you can actually rest a little bit in Thanksgiving. And you might already have in place people that you want to contact for after Thanksgiving. Because I don't know about you, but where I am here, people really take off from like Tuesday to Sunday, okay? So if you try to email anybody or call them during that time, they're not going to get back to you. So it almost gives you like a free pass. Like you get to put in all the amazing work before Thanksgiving, you get to rest during Thanksgiving, and then when everybody's back ready to crank, you're ready to crank too. And I honestly believe that by the end of the 10 days after Thanksgiving, you already be able to have some bookings for the new year because you're going to already know what to talk about. You're going to already have those contacts in mind, and you're going to be able to have my eyes on it. That was probably the biggest part of it. I think, the different clients I've spoken to recently who that's where the inspiration came from too. They were coming to me after the workshops and like, hey, how can I do what you do? How can I do what you do? And I'm like thinking, oh, I'll have coffee with you and talk to you. But then I felt I'm actually devaluing that because there's so much that goes into it that a cup of coffee for 30 minutes you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're not going to be able to remember everything I shared with you. And then also when you start working on that presentation, you're going to want to put too many slides on there because you want to explain everything. No. So I want to just say that component of it, so you have a little bit of time to think about it, but please message me. I'm happy to get on a call with you, chat more about it, anything else you want to know. But just know like Thanksgiving, you get to rest as well. And then we're going, like we're on.
Amazing. What a beautiful way to complete 2024 and really set yourself up for an insane 2025 with new perspectives, new ideas, a new way to impact your local community in a way bigger way, and to create a business for 2025 that really lights your soul on fire. So like this conversation was insane. It was incredible. I love you so much, Lupita. We're going to link to all of her social channels and the Small Business Accelerator below. And just thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you, Charlotte. And if anyone is thinking about joining any of Charlotte's programs, stop thinking, just join it. Honestly, it's going to be the best investment you do in yourself. And you'll never have a better coach that is able to see the blind spots in a most beautiful way and be able to almost align you back to who you are in your businesses. Because that's one of the things, Charlotte, I want to say about you is that from the very beginning, you really helped me to remember my business, remember who I am, stay aligned to that. And you also helped me even with this specific program. You showed me you've been doing this. Why don't we do this? And so if you're somebody who's been on the fence, don't be on the fence anymore. Just contact Charlotte, get in her programs. I promise you won't regret it. And you're going to be able to exponentially grow as a person and as a business. I mean, that beyond that is worth the investment, 100%.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Lupita. Thank you, everyone who's being here today. I love you so much. Have the most beautiful day, and I see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.